Hey everyone, thanks for joining Learn to Play Games. My name is Lance, and in today's video I'm going to a brand new game coming to Kickstarter called NightBreak. This is a new one by the Lancaster game company. It is a 2 to 4 player game that takes roughly 30 to 60 minutes to play and is a competitive head-to-head game where players are going to be playing one of two different factions, either the Sun or Moon faction, and going at it over a 2-day battle where the player at the end of the 2 days that has the most favor from their goddess will be the winner of the game. So in the game itself, you are one of the speakers for your goddess, and you are traveling the land trying to spread your goddess's word, and you bring along 3 heroes to help you in your endeavors. As you come across the other faction's speakers, you will enter into a 2-day sacred battle to determine who has the most favor from their goddess, and will prevail and continue speaking the word of their goddess. So this game is also going to have some sort of a collectible card game to it, as you are going to be able to purchase packs that are going to come with additional cards that will have special artwork, full foil, and all kinds of other things. And I do have one of these packs, so I think I'm going to open it up and show you what is inside. This is a random pack, so you'll always get new stuff for this. Again, some of these might just be different artwork or different things with them. And I do also want to point out that all the materials you see here are subject to change and are just prototype materials. So let's go ahead and pop this open and see what's in this pack real quick. I see a foil, pretty cool. All right. Oh man, look at that. That is awesome. Very cool. So yeah, just some alternative artwork to some of the cards just to kind of make things a little more fancy. Very cool. Oh, nice. They even have the time cards in there as well, and favor cards. So just a lot of foils and different looks. So this is almost, this is almost all the Moon faction cards. So we could technically replace our character here with this card here, as it is just a copy of the card for all intensive purposes. So you can deck out your deck with some fancy cards in the process. All right, so in this video, I'm going to take you through and show you the main features of the game, and then show you a sample turn to give you a good idea how this one plays to help you decide whether or not this is one you want to back on Kickstarter. As always, if you find these videos helpful, if you like what I do, please consider hitting that like button, subscribe to my channel. It's one of the easiest ways you can support channels like mine so we can continue to grow and be able to produce this content. If you want to be updated on all my videos, also consider ringing that bell so you get notifications anytime I release new stuff. So let's head to the table and we'll see what this one's all about. First, I want to start by looking at the different heroes that you can play as throughout the game. These are going to be broken down into 2 different factions, the Sun faction and the Moon faction. So the first one I'm going to look at is the Sun faction. With this, there'll be 15 core heroes in this faction you can choose from to select as your starting heroes. Each one of these heroes is going to have the icon of its faction at the top of the card. So the Sun faction heroes will have a little sun there. Then each hero is going to have a number of hit points, their name and type, along with their attack type. And there are 3 different attack types: magic, range, and melee. Then each hero is going to have an illustration along with 2 different types of abilities. The first is their arrival ability, and this will be triggered when the hero is brought into play. This will not apply for the heroes you select at the start of the game. And then each hero is also going to have an ability they can trigger by spending a number of blessing points, and then they'll carry out the action of that ability. And the other faction is the Moon faction, which is also going to have 15 heroes for that player to choose from. These heroes have the same information as the Sun heroes and work exactly the same way. So from here, let's go ahead and talk about the different types of attacks to break that down. So with the magic attacks, they are going to only be able to target columns that they're not directly across from. So the wizard, this wizard here, cannot target the enemy hero in this space, but it could target either one of the enemy heroes in either one of these spaces. Then we have the melee or ranged hero, and that hero can target any one of the heroes in any one of the lanes. Finally, with the melee hero, it can only target the enemy hero that's directly across from it in its own lane. And I'll show you a little bit more of this as well during the example turn. Each faction will also have its own resources, which will be represented by its tokens, and these are double-sided tokens, with one side having that faction's blessing on it, and the other side having that faction's prayer. And heroes will be able to pray during their turn to be able to gain more blessing points in later turns, and I'll cover that a little bit more later. And the whole point of the game is for your faction to have favor, and there are going to be favor cards for each of the factions. You'll gain a favor card each time you defeat an enemy hero and knock them out. And at the end of the game, the player that has more favor will be the winner of the game. The game is going to be tracked with the time deck, and this is going to be constructed in two different ways depending upon who is the starting player. For my game, I'm going to have the Sun player be the starting player, so the deck will be constructed in this manner for that player. From there, it's during each player's turn, the first thing we're going to do is consult the top card of the time deck and determine the number of blessing points that they receive. Each player will always receive one blessing point, and if these symbols match their faction, then they're going to receive the number of blessing points based on the card instead. So with the Sun player, he would only receive one blessing point as the symbols do not match, but when it becomes the Moon player's turn, the Moon player will receive 2 blessing points because there are 2 symbols here instead. At the end of each player's turn, they're going to flip over the top card of the time deck to reveal the next card. So each player will have one card in each one of the different states, which there's going to be Dusk, Midnight, which is really good for the Moon player, obviously. Then we will have Dawn, and finally Midday. And this deck will be comprised of 16 cards and will equal 2 days. So the final thing I want to show you is a couple of example turns to give you a good idea how the game plays. So each player's turn is going to consist of a number of steps that the player is going to do in order. At the beginning of each player's turn, they're going to get a number of blessing tokens based on the time deck and the card that is shown. You're always going to get one blessing token, and if the top card of the time deck matches your faction symbols, you'll receive a number of blessing tokens based on that card. So if I was playing with the Moon player right now, I would receive 2 blessing tokens instead of just the 1. From there then, if any of my heroes had been praying, which means that they had to have a token on their card and they had it flipped over to the prayer side, then I would remove that token and gain 2 additional blessing tokens for that. So I don't right now, as you have to actually have tokens on your characters and they have to take that action, which I'll show you a little bit more later. From there, then it's going to move into the hero's actions. So you're going to start with the leftmost hero and then work your way across, resolving all of the different actions for one hero before moving on to the next one. So with my first hero here, I only have 1 blessing token right now, so I'm not really going to be able to pay to activate any of their abilities, and I don't have any blessings assigned to heroes yet. That'll happen at the end of your turn. So I won't be able to pray this turn with any of my heroes either. So at this point, the last thing that I have to do with each hero is perform an attack action. I must attack with each of my heroes, resolving it in the order, and then once a hero attacks, their turn is done and you cannot use them anymore. So with my first hero here, she is an archer and she can do 1 damage to any one of the enemy heroes. So I think I'm going to go ahead and target the enemy archer as he's got a nasty ability. And I'm going to do 1 damage for that. From there, then her turn is done, and I'll move over to my middle hero. Again, I don't have much else I can do at this point, so I'm just going to go ahead and attack. And she is a melee attacker, so she has to attack the enemy that is in her lane. So she's going to do 2 more damage to him, so that he is going to be down to 6. Then her turn is done. Finally, I'm going to move over to my last hero. So he is a magic user. Again, I can't really activate any other abilities at this point. So he is going to be able to target one of the enemy heroes in one of the other lanes, not the lane across from him. And he's going to do 2 damage as well. So we're going to keep working on this hero here. So that'll bring him down to 4 health. From there, then I'll move into the end part of my turn where I'm going to place any blessing tokens that I have left to assign to a hero. At this point, from this point on, only that hero will be able to use that particular blessing token. So I am going to go ahead and I think I will place it on her. Okay, so from there, then I'm going to flip over the top card of the time deck and reveal the next card. At this point, then my turn is done, and it'll move over to my opponent's turn to take their turn. So moving over to the other player, that player is going to gain 2 tokens as it is dusk, and they are matching that symbol. And then from there, again, they don't have any of their heroes that are praying either, so then they're going to move into their action phase. So starting with their hero on their left side, that hero is not going to do any of their different actions, so they're simply going to attack. They're going to choose one of the heroes that is not in their lane to attack. So they're going to go ahead and target this hero here, bringing her down to 7. Moving over to the middle hero, I am going to spend my 2 blessing points to trigger his ability, which is that he is going to Guided Ethereal Arrows. So this one is going to do 3 damage to the hero directly in front of him. So that'll bring her down to 4 damage. And then it's going to do 2 damage to the hero on his left, which going this way is going to be over here. And I do apologize for this. I'm kind of doing this backwards here. And he'll do 1 damage to the hero on his right. And then these will be spent and returned to the pile. And then he's going to attack. He'll choose one of the heroes to attack. And he is going to, let's see here. I will continue working on this hero here. From there, then let's move over to the last hero to go. And again, I don't have any points to spend at this point, so he's simply going to attack straight across and do 2 damage there. So at this point, then, again, it would move to the end of the turn where if he had any blessing tokens left, he would assign them. And then, again, it's going to reveal the next card in the time deck. And we'll move back over to the Sun player. This is going to continue going back and forth between the players until the time deck has been depleted. At that point, the player that has the most favor cards in their side will win the game. So a couple of things that I do want to cover real quick, as there are other dynamics in the game. So when a hero has been depleted of all of their health, so let's go ahead and say that my player went and it moved back over to the Moon player, who ended up doing enough damage to defeat this hero here. So when a hero is defeated, they're going to be removed from the board and placed in a discard pile. And then the next hero in this top of the deck will be, you can look at them, decide if you want to use that hero or not. If you do not, you're going to place that hero on the bottom of the deck and draw the next card and place that. Otherwise, when you place a new hero, you're going to trigger their arrival effects. So this one, I'm going to deal 3 damage to the hero to his left, his front, or his right, and then you're going to do 2 damage to Hellstorm. So I have to choose which way I'm going to do it, and then I would take 2 damage as well, so then he would start at 9 or 7 instead. So that is how the heroes work, and then again, each time a hero is removed, so with this hero being eliminated, this player would receive a favor card, and so now they're in the lead. So that's going to continue going until the end of the time deck is run out. Now there is one other thing. There are different buffs and debuffs that the heroes will be able to gain in different ways by activating different heroes' abilities, and that will grant certain heroes different effects, and those are each outlined on their token, and those will simply be added to that hero to keep track of them. Now, when a hero has been eliminated, or if a hero escapes, with a hero that has a blessing token, they can choose to spend that and escape, where they will be placed on the bottom of their deck, and a new hero will come out just like normal, but they are not eliminated, so the enemy will not receive a favor card for that. And at that point, then they would remove any buffs or debuffs that they have, any blessing or prayer tokens that they have, and then they're going to make their way out of the deck, and a new one will come in. Well, I hope this gives you a good idea how this game plays. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please post those in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer them. Or swing by the Kickstarter's main page and drop any questions you have there as well. I'm sure the creators would love to hear from you and are more than happy to answer any questions you have. Until next time, I'll see you later.